Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. If you've ever stopped and wondered how on earth our ancestors made it through some of the absolute harshest conditions imaginable, and how those early struggles shaped exactly who we are today, well, you are in the perfect place. We're going to be digging into the fascinating, and honestly pretty surprising, survival strategies of early humans.
So right off the bat, were early humans really the apex hunters we always picture them to be? Pop culture loves to show us these incredibly muscular cavemen bravely taking down giant mammoths with nothing but primitive spears. But cutting-edge research from 2025 and 2026 tells a wildly different and frankly a much more mind-blowing story about how we actually survived those perilous early days.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to break down the incredible biological, technological, and social toolkit our ancestors relied on. We'll hit 1. The myth of the hunter. 2. The supreme scavengers. 3. Rethinking early fire. 4. The lithic tech tree. 5. Becoming ecosystem generalists. And finally, 6. The power of community.
Section 1. The myth of the hunter. Reframing our ancestors' reality. To really grasp human history, we need to completely shift our perspective on how early humans interacted with their incredibly hostile environments. They definitely weren't ruling the savanna right out of the gate. Actually, they were fighting a daily, grueling battle for energy. And that brings us to bioenergetics. This is basically the study of the flow and transformation of energy in living organisms, or simply put, energy in versus energy out. This constant, unrelenting struggle for calories is the absolute critical framework for understanding every single survival decision our ancestors made. Because if an action burned more calories than it gained, well, that was a fast track to extinction.
Section 2. The supreme scavengers, thriving on the leftovers.
Because early humans were so strictly constrained by that energy in versus energy out rule, our bodies completely adapted for the task of scavenging. Walking on 2 legs, bipedalism, was just a bioenergetic masterstroke. It freed our hands to carry tools, sure, but more importantly, it enabled incredibly energy-efficient long-distance walking to track down predator kills. Plus, standing upright minimized the surface area of our bodies that was exposed to the blazing sun, which vastly improved thermoregulation on the hot savanna. We were literally built to efficiently walk long distances just to find free meals.
But hey, getting to a carcass is only half the battle, right? Our very biology, right down to our digestive system, had to adapt for this diet. Early hominins possessed incredibly strong stomach acid. This allowed them to safely digest scavenged meat that might have been sitting out in the sun for a while, just laden with bacteria. We evolved from the inside out to safely handle the leftovers left behind by lions and other heavy-hitting predators. So the crucial point is this. Groundbreaking 2026 research from Senia confirms that scavenging wasn't some desperate last resort for starving hominids. Not at all. It was a highly efficient primary energy strategy. It was a deliberate, biologically supported, and frankly brilliant survival strategy that really powered our early evolution.
Section 3. Rethinking early fire, beyond the cooking hearth.
Okay, we need to tackle one of the biggest misconceptions about human history, the true early purpose of our relationship with fire. The old view always assumed fire was primarily adopted for cooking meat, but a fascinating 2025 bioenergetic model published in the Journal of Human Evolution flips the script entirely. This new research suggests early fire control by species like Homo erectus was initially driven by something else completely, protecting massive megafauna carcasses and deterring apex predators from stealing their scavenged meals.
To really understand why they did this, you have to realize the sheer scale of the energy prize early humans were fighting for here. They were scavenging massive megafauna carcasses. We're talking ancient elephants and hippos. A single one of these carcasses contained literally millions of calories. Finding one was a complete bioenergetic jackpot. But, you can't eat a whole hippo in one sitting, and other predators want that meat just as badly as you do.
This new research indicates that by utilizing smoke and fire, early humans could actually guard these colossal megafauna carcasses from other scavengers for up to 3 weeks. In terms of immediate energy return during the early Paleolithic, keeping a 1,000,000-calorie food source safe for weeks significantly outperformed the caloric benefits of simply cooking a small meal. Fire was an area denial weapon first and a kitchen appliance second.
Section 4. The lithic tech tree, from flakes to points.
So we have the biological adaptations to travel to the food, and we've got the fire to defend it. But to actually harvest all those calories and process the materials around our campsites, our toolmaking had to evolve dramatically. Starting way back over 3.3 million years ago, we see simple, older one flake tools, which are essentially just sharp rocks. Moving into the Middle Paleolithic, we get the Acheulean hand axis, a massive leap in design and utility. And by the later Paleolithic, we see highly specialized Mousterian points. These stone tools provided the absolute essential cutting edges needed for slicing meat, breaking open bones for that super nutrient-dense marrow, processing wood, and eventually defense.
And this brilliantly illustrates the feedback loop of human evolution. You see, the act of stone tool making wasn't just about the physical product you held in your hand. Teaching someone how to strike a rock at the perfect angle fostered deep observational social learning. This intense need to learn, teach, and communicate directly drove our cognitive development and brain expansion. Basically, our tools shaped our minds just as much as our minds shaped the tools.
Section 5. Becoming ecosystem generalists, conquering the extremes. This incredibly powerful combination of biology, fire, and tools allowed our ancestors to finally expand far beyond the familiar, warm savannas of Africa and out into the unknown. Recent research from the Max Planck Institute labels Homo sapiens as ecosystem generalists, meaning we are a species able to thrive in a wide variety of extreme environmental conditions and habitats, primarily through social flexibility. We didn't evolve thick fur for the cold or humps for the desert. Instead, we adapted our behavior. This adaptability became our ultimate defining biological trait.
Think about how our ancestors brilliantly navigated incredibly diverse and harsh environments. Out in arid deserts, they relied on immense social flexibility and strict resource sharing. In dense rainforests, they used adaptable foraging and highly specialized tools just to get by. And out on the freezing tundra, survival meant total fire mastery and building complex communal shelters.
All of this incredible flexibility culminated around 50,000 years ago. That's the approximate time frame when this highly unique status as ecosystem generalists allowed Homo sapiens to expand globally, pushing into territories that would have instantly wiped out less adaptable hominins.
Section 6. The power of community. Strength in numbers.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that beyond tools and fire, our profound ability to cooperate was the final and perhaps the most important piece of the survival puzzle. Group foraging ensured a shared, stable caloric intake for everyone. Central hearth gatherings provided nighttime safety from predators. Food sharing mitigated the risk for any one individual who might have had a bad day foraging, ensuring no one starved if they happened to come up empty-handed. And early forms of proto-language glued it all together. These communal safety networks were absolutely our greatest defense against environmental hazards.
There's this great quote from the research. Group cooperation in central hearth campsites strengthened social bonds, knowledge sharing, and child rearing. When you hear that, it's pretty much impossible not to see the echoes in our modern lives, isn't it? The simple act of gathering around a dinner table with family or friends to share a meal, exchange knowledge, and talk about your day, that is literally an ancient survival strategy coded right into our DNA over millions of years. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. As the ultimate ecosystem generalists, how will our ancient adaptability serve us in the extreme environments of our future? From the hot savannas to the frozen tundra, we've always found a way by using our minds, our tools, and most importantly, each other. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today.